Yo, what's up? Again, it's been a minute, but this is going to be a fun video because this right here is a device I have been waiting for, and we're going to be talking about the Franklin SS-6. This thing is super rad. First off, there's been a lot of changes to the space, to the studio, to the gear. There's a lot of new synths, a lot of eurorack stuff. There's a mini Moog that's not even in the room right now, and there's going to be a lot of changes to this room, but that is a topic for another video. In this video, I want to talk about this SS-6. Full disclosure, these guys did send it to me. I reached out and asked for it. They didn't ask me to do a video or anything like that. Before I discuss how I'm going to use this in my setup, let's just talk about the SS-6 from Franklin. What is it? Well, it's a patch bay. If you have a lot of different synths or instruments, you can use this device right here to connect everything together and then send it to one output or two outputs, because that's what this has on it. On the back, you have 6 stereo inputs. These can also be mono on the top. And on the very front, you just have a giant switcher to switch between them. Doesn't really get easier than that. On the very front, you have DI 1/4-inch outputs and XLR outputs, and then ground lift switches right here if you're getting some hum. So pretty simple device, entirely passive, no power needed. Now how I intend to use this is I'm going to connect all my synthesizers to the back here. On the front, I'm going to run the XLRs to my interface, inputs 1 and 2. So that way I can switch between different synths and have a direct clean signal straight from the synths. Now the other 2 outputs, I'm actually going to run to some eurorack desktop setups that I have for coloring and saturating my sound, or even just processing effects on the synths. These outputs are going to go to my interface's inputs 3 and 4. So I can essentially switch between what synth I either want to go direct, or if I want it to go to the eurorack system, so I can color it and manipulate it and then send it to my interface. So that's really it. Again, this is a really cool and simple device. You don't have to have a patch bay with different cables and patch things around. It's a simple selector, and I love that. I'm really pumped about its ease of use. So let's plug it in, connect it, hook it up. Again, they didn't ask me to make this video. I just think this is really dope. Let's do it. So here it is, the SS-6. Again, this nice big switcher on the top. And you just have these inputs on the back we're going to connect all our synths to. And on the front, right now I have 2 XLRs, which are going to inputs 1 and 2 on my interface. So let's just plug those guys in. And these 2, I'm going to use 2 1/4-inch, and this is going to my eurorack system. So this is just a DI through, and these are DI outputs. Again, you also have these ground lifts. If you're getting some hum, you can switch those. Let's flip over to the back side. All right, this is the back side. Again, we have all of our inputs. Red is going to be for right, and the top one is left, which is mono. So let's go ahead and start connecting things. Let's start with the Prophet. And these aren't the cables I'm actually going to use, but for the sake of this demo, that's what we're going to rock with. The Moog, we're going to go into input 2. And this is the Streichfett from Waldorf, input 3. Then over here, we have the Juno 60, which will go into input 4. And once the mini Moog is back in, that'll go into input 5. On my interface here, I have inputs 1 and 2 that's coming straight out of the front of the SS-6. And on the back here, I have 3 and 4, which is coming from my eurorack system. I was trying to figure out the best way to do this, and I think this setup makes the most sense. So I have the switcher right here, which I can switch between screen captures so you can see what's going on, and we're gonna flip between this, and I'm gonna explain this setup as I go along. So you'll see this first track here is my Prophet Rev 2, which is right over here. That's coming through switch input 1. And this is the plugin from Sound Tower, which allows me to control the Prophet and all of its parameters. So I am sending MIDI from my computer or keyboard over to the Prophet, and we're going direct in right now to the interface. So this is what that sounds like. Let's just play something. Now, if I don't want to go direct in and I want to go through the eurorack rig, I can just switch to my other inputs, which are 3 and 4. And now we can add some distortion or something. So that's one way I can utilize this. Now, if we want to just switch to another synth, let's just go to the sub 37. This is the subsequent 37, the software instrument, which controls the sub. I can go over to input 2 on the switcher, and let's just go direct line input, and this is the sub. And then same thing, if I want to run through the eurorack system, we just switch over to the eurorack input. And I can change different things on the eurorack system, go through different filters or tubes or whatever I want to do over there. So let's just keep cruising. This is the Streichfett going through the eurorack system. Switch to 3. And if we want to go direct, switch to direct. You can hear the difference how it's not really being processed anymore. It's just going clean, so you're not getting that saturation coming from the tubes on this little setup. And then we can jump over to the Juno 60. So let's go to input 4 on here and see what is happening. This is, again, just sending MIDI out of my interface to the Juno 60, which has the Minerva mod on it, which allows it to be controlled by MIDI and CC parameters for all of its controls. So. Or we can go through the eurorack system. You can instantly hear how much louder it is because I'm applying a lot of saturation to it, but. So this is how I intend to use this, is to simply switch between different synths and setups and either send them directly to my interface so I can have a nice clean signal, or send it over to the eurorack rig. Eventually I'm going to plug that eurorack system into it, and again the Mini Moog, the Model D, will go into input 6. So having these extra 2 inputs is perfect because I have 2 more things that I have to connect. And that's it for this video. I just wanted to share my experience on my journey and hunt to find a patch bay. This one happened to be perfect and exactly what I was looking for. The quality and build of it are amazing. It's a small company, so you should definitely support them if you're looking for something similar. Links in the description. If you have any questions, hit me with a comment. Also hit me with a like or a sub for the algorithm, and stay tuned for more content coming out soon. We out.